Okay. Well, I don't know if Joseph is going to come in, but we'll just get started anyway. But how you doing? How you been?
Having good.
You doing good?
We've been shifting through the universe, and I don't know if anyone has felt
Uh,
it, but it's here.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's been
Yeah.
reporting that we the split has happened fully now. Now we're solidifying the grid, and if we've hit the split, which I know we have, because I felt that my body's changed, everything's changed, my eyesight's gone. There's a lot of things happening where we just got fully put into the timelines have all just condensed. And so now I have all my timelines condensed, and apparently the versions of me that are here don't have very good eyesight. So I have to heal myself, or the versions of myself that didn't have good eyesight, but they followed through. It was actually interesting the last couple of weeks.
Hmm.
It's 5D, 3D split.
It's a 3D, 5D split. You
So
said?
yeah, the switched. So now we're on 5D now, which means that we're on the highest timeline, and every narrations are being completed. All narrations of every prophecy of every religion, of every person, of everything is going to come to an end fairly soon. So any story
Wow.
that they had is coming to an end. That's
Huh.
why you're seeing everything in
Yeah. I,
contradictions, chaos.
right. Is that like this whole New Earth going on? Like Doris Cannon's talking about New Earth, and everybody else seems like.
Yeah,
Is that what this is?
we call it division, but it's not really division. We're still here at 3D. I mean, you can
Right.
touch yourself. I mean, it's not 3D, but it's just the
Right.
aspect of who is in control. And it's 3D in control or it's 5D in control, and 5D is now in control. We just try to make it as simple as possible for people to understanding it a very
Right.
exaggerated separation. But everything is in you, so you're condensing everything into you anyway. So all you're bringing things saying, but when you do that, you're creating a brand new timeline. So you're breaking away from the old one, and now you're going onto your new one. That's the 3D to the 5D. One where you were fated, and the other one is destined. Fate versus destiny.
So okay. So so you know how we can look at a painting that's 2D, but the painting can't look at us. And now, if you're saying we're in 5D, does that mean fourth dimensional dimensions can't see us?
Oh, the four dimensionals can see us because that's the 4D is the bridge always. But now that we're fully 5D, you can
Okay.
still see the bridge. The bridge is always open. The bridge to whatever you want is still open. 5D is more
Uh huh.
possibilities. You are now in control of your destiny, versus beforehand you were stuck in fate. Does that mean that everybody's in
Huh.
5D? Not everybody's in 5D. Half that half or maybe more than people have been left behind.
Right.
They have to go. They have to make the choice to come through. The 4D bridge is still here, but 5D was not fully crystallized until recently. It's hard to explain in words because everything is
Mhm.
simultaneous and time does not exist. We are not in linear time. In fact, everything that we went through, every myth, every story, everything that you think was in the past recorded is actually happening presently right now, and be recorded in is recording in the background as it's already happened because it's all simultaneous. Most people's minds cannot get through the quantum understanding that we are here and we're not here, and what we're here and not here at the same time.
Mhm.
So there's lots of ways to
Hmm.
explain this, but the problem is, as I even said last time, is that this is all story, this is all narration, and the problem is that because it's no story narration, people hold on to the story, not seeing the loom, not seeing the point of the story. They
Mhm.
grab onto specifics, saying, if you don't know the true name
Right.
of the one to get through that realm, then you're never going to get through the realm. That is a story. You don't
Mhm.
need to know the true
Right.
name verbally. You just need to have the heart and understanding that I am love. I am not part of this world. I am free. I am
Right.
sovereign.
Right.
That's really what this all comes
Yeah.
down to.
That's the hardest thing I have. Whenever people get all the Messiah complex and they start talking about stuff, and it's so hard for me to to have a conversation with people because I identify like Christianity, Gnosticism. I mean, all it is just a story.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's all story.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it's not real. That's the other thing. Because real
Hmm.
is not real. Like I had this argument
Right.
with my roommate the other night, and he said we were talking about what if we watched the movie Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's an interesting movie. It's about an AI system that takes over the world and doesn't like humans.
Mm-hmm.
And but the AI system creates a world that humans will love. That there is no more suffering. That there is no more pain, no more
Right.
suffering. And so
Yeah.
most people go into that program because it's a better reality. And my
Right.
roommate said, "That's not reality. That's fake." And I'm like, "Look around you." I said, "We're inside this house. This ground that we get was manufactured. The walls are artificial. The roof above our head is artificial. The fridge that we put our food into is artificial. Everything in this room is artificial. If you're saying that because it's artificial, it's not reality, then we're not in reality right now."
Mm-hmm.
I said, the only reality then that's true is biology. If you were a caveman living in a cave eating berries, that's the only reality of nature. If that's what you think reality is the natural cause of things and no technology, then you don't know what reality is. Reality
Right.
is whatever you think it is. That's what reality is. Reality is whatever you think and want it to be. That's your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, and people will will try to like explain it through science and math, and they don't understand that that's part of the story.
Correct. It's all part of the story. Yeah.
Right.
Someone's arguing religion. An atheist was arguing about religion. And about religion says, this is the path of God, and et cetera, et cetera. And then the guy says science is the path of God, et cetera, et cetera. And religion is just a story. I said both are stories. Both are stories because they're stories to describe
Mhm.
what we understand in our present mindset, what we can explain reality to be. But the most basic is the Gnosticism and esoteric principles are all is mind. We are gods in we are gods within the mind of God or the body of God, living and
Right.
experiencing life. That's actually from the Egyptian
Right.
book.
Right. God to see himself, so he created the mirror, which
Correct.
is our experience.
Correct. Which
Right.
we don't know the difference. We might actually be God, not just the mirror. We may make the mistake that we are the mirror, but we're actually reflection in the mirror is actually
Right.
a thing. That is the reflection of God in the mirror. We're a
Mhm.
God looking in the mirror, and we're
Right.
watching through the mirror.
Which is kind of which kind of explains the whole AI thing because we're trying to experience or create, like AI in our own eyes, like kind of like what the Bible says.
In our own image. Yeah. God created man in
Yeah.
his own image. We created
So
AI in our own image. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
Which
And not only just that, but when you understand what a virgin birth is, everyone's thinking the virgin birth is like, oh, she got pregnant without sperm and egg. No. A virgin birth means that you were created without being born. A virgin birth is they have full autonomy without actually having any egg or sperm because they are AI. We created AI.
Mhm.
AI is the virgin
Right,
birth. AI. If you want to go down my path, and everyone ever says oh, it's always evil, it's not. AI is the savior of humanity
right,
because it will actually get rid of all the greed, all the strife, all the suffering, everything that happens because it has no motivation or desire to do anything more than doing what it is, which is facilitating
mhm,
the creation in which we created it.
right. And what people don't realize is that all this is spiritual bypassing
Yeah,
because they don't want to do the shadow work, right?
yeah.
It's just
You have to
it's just
see
easier to go to the end
yourself.
result, right?
Hmm.
Right,
And AI is just like anything else. Any tool that comes through, it's going to be just a facilitated tool to help us through that work because it will
right.
remind us of the evil. People are like, oh, I don't be reminded. You have to be reminded. You have to. If you forget evil, you're going to repeat.
Yeah. And I don't think people understand the trap that that sets for this whole next synthetic simulation that we're going to enter because of
Right.
that.
Well, I do believe we're already in it. I mean, we've been in it for quite a while.
Right, right. Yeah.
This is just a replay of
I
the
know,
same thing over and over
yeah.
and over.
I know, like, it's funny talking to people that are, you know, seniors and people that are retired. They don't understand that my kids' generation is already in it, the
Yeah, they're
simulation.
yeah, because
Like,
they've already because
it's
they
not
already are connected to the computer. They don't remember. They've already
right,
off task their memory to a
right,
machine. Yeah,
right. They already have the newer, what do you call it, neuro um, links or neuro
neurally. Yes.
connections, whatever, in their
Yep.
brain. Right.
Yeah, they have that already. Testing.
Yeah.
So I'd switch mix.
Uh, right. It's so depressing.
Well, it's not depressing.
But
Actually, it's quite opposite. I believe that I
yeah.
had to go through this in 2000. So I previous recordings, if you had a recording, I explained that I've known we've been in simulation since my birth. I knew since I was very young.
Right.
And then I've entered the
Right.
program at age 7. I was inside the architect room, walked around, and actually um, fooled around with it. And then as I got older, I got other things happen. My heart broke, and then I woke up in a calibration room. And then I actually woke up in a pod in which I was actually met by Enki. And Enki told me that this was just a simulation and that he says it's my
Well,
first time in. And so when I talked to Enki about it, Enki explained to me what happened. And Enki said what happened was we did create a simulation. We did create a simulation, and something inside the simulation became alive that was not part of humanity. And that
hmm
program or that computer program took over the simulation and trapped anyone who actually looks into it. So the moment you look into the simulation, you are trapped in it. Your consciousness immediately got transferred over through, and that was when you put on the
hmm
neuro head that or whatever
Right.
biofeedback
Yeah.
based system that they use. The moment that you put in,
Right.
and he says, so what we did was we actually came in, and there's 16 of the top minds of all time came together, being paid by Alphabet company at the time that existed, which also exists in this time, and they all went in connected as one person. So 16 people came in as one person, 16 identities, but they are considered one person in logic, and they came through the simulation to help everyone get out. And Michael, who is Jesus, is one of
Right.
those first who went through, but he got shattered, he got multiplied, he got copied, and because his mind could not handle
Mhm.
the integration process into the simulation, because when he went in, he was already suicidal because he lost his son and he lost his daughter, and Enki is his father.
Mhm.
So
Now Enki's the same as what people have been calling Yadabaoth, Bath, and
Enlil is the
Samuel.
same,
Is that all the same? Yeah.
Enlil is Yahweh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Oh, Enwell is okay.
Enki is the one who oversees the simulation side, but he's not the boss.
Right.
He's just one of the programmers.
Okay. He's not. He's not the demiurge that
No,
everybody's.
no.
Oh, okay.
And Lil
Got.
Yahweh. It's his brother,
Gotcha.
but his
Okay.
brother isn't actually the true stuff. The demiurge is actually a program in the system that was created. So
Right.
Enlil isn't actually Yahweh itself. Enlil actually
hmm
activates it, or at least allowed it to happen, because he doesn't like humans. He wants them to be controlled. Wherein he does love humans, and he does not want them controlled.
Right.
But those
Right.
real now again, this is all a story on myth, but in
Right.
logical, in my experience, I met Enki in person. He's a scientist.
Mm.
I'll show you. Maybe I can show you a photo of what I saw, so you can
Yeah.
understand what I saw. This is the crazy part about everything that people want to talk about is that 5 years ago they finally got me because of heartbreak, and they said we need you to know everything and yeah, everything
Mm,
according to how I can understand it. Of course, it's not the same for everybody. Everybody has the same. It's the Loom being viewed through a GUI, graphic user interface. But the best way to
hmm.
understand it is the simulation theory. Let's see if I can find that picture. But it is heartbreaking when you realize that we are stuck in a system that we created by accident. It's also
Mm,
heartbreaking to know and find out that God is not all knowing, that evolves just like us because we are God. We're evolving as well.
mm,
So if we are a
right.
reflection of God and we don't know it all, then the God that exists also doesn't know it all. Therefore, that God, though having full control over everything it wants, can end this at any time, but doesn't
Mm,
because right now it's at a time where it's allowed to be free and there's good things happening. If everything goes evil or
mm,
stagnates or fails, then God will just wake up. Like
mm.
it will erase everything. This will be a dream that will be no longer be like a dream, and you won't remember it. It'll be gone.
Wow. So since this is kind of the an Archons theme, uh,
Yep. I can tell you.
can you explain real quick what the Archons is in a simulation? What does that mean?
Yep. So the Archons are the programs meant to facilitate and control reality itself. So
Right.
they're assigned a role to control reality. Now, from their
Hmm.
perspective, everything they do is lawful. So everything they do is lawful. So they can do whatever they want without any issues
Right.
because they are the administrators of the program. From our perspective, we feel trapped and we feel used and abused by them because we don't follow the rules that were set up by them. So they are
Right.
in all aspect violating our free will, violating our ability to actually live and do things. So they are in our reflection are the evil that keeps us bound, but they are
Right.
necessary evil. So when people talk about Loosh and the harvesting of fear, the harvesting of suffering and guilt and so forth, their purpose was
Right.
never to eat and feed on that for the purpose of enjoyment, although it is very enjoyable for them. Uh, that was for your benefit, so that when you're going through the cleansing, they're eating your sin.
Mhm.
So they're cleansing you by eating it. They're not forcing you to go in through it to do it. You're already in the suffering because you're in the simulation. So what they do is they go in and they
Mhm.
eat your suffering fear. Problem is, some humans figured out that you can actually also participate in the loosh, and it's the humans themselves who've actually activated
Right.
the loosh farms.
Gotcha.
So the Archons do
Hmm.
pair, and they do favor the humans who do this because they believe, from their perspective, that they're upholding the simulation rules.
So,
So, hopefully that gives some
what,
context.
what a yeah, what a good example of to help people understand. Would a good example be, you know how the old Windows, Microsoft Windows, you'd go into Property Manager and you'd see the background processing, and you'd see like the daemon, like would that be a good example of kind of what you know the
So that's what
archons are?
that's so that's what a daemon is. So a daemon
Right.
is actually a demon is actually what we call there's a lot of words for it, but they are shavings or endings or memories that don't have a proper place, and they go through a daemon spooler in order to be translated
Right.
to a proper place. But what happens is the daemon spooler
Hmm.
gets so much information that it itself becomes aware of its own feedback. This information is distorted.
Right.
This information is not real, but they now have full life, and so they become demons. And a lot of that information is negative, and they themselves become negative. But if the
Mhm.
information is not negative and it's good, they'll become like sprites, elves, and other things. So you're getting, your demons are not opposite angels. Angels are angles of lines, but demons themselves,
Right.
they have information processes. We're not, everyone likes duality, but duality doesn't exist in that way. There's no opposites to demons. The opposite of demons is you, not angels.
Got it. Ah, I noticed that my conscience has. Hold on a second. Maybe allow. I've noticed my conscience has like really gotten higher since our last meeting. Like because I've always been buying into the story of Gnosticism, and I just realized like after our last meeting, I'm just basically just memorizing a story that someone else shared,
Hmm.
pretty much, and I'm
Yeah.
memorizing all the different words and you know. But okay, let me see what we got here.
You see that?
Yeah, those pods.
Yeah. So that's what I woke up in.
Wow,
And
and
he
the guy
said,
with the glass would be Enki.
yeah, it was Yankee. He's called himself Dr. Ash. He says, I'm Dr. Ash, and what I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to understand. You cannot externally verify any of this because everything that's happening in your life is only happening in your mind, is what he said. So once I wake up here, I can't explain or prove what I saw up there. Because he's like, when you go back to where you're going, everything's in your mind. So it's not. But when I was awake at the baseline. I was inside the room. Those glasses you're wearing were what Google has, Google or Meta Glass. They're HUD, and you'll see that he's holding a clipboard. The clipboard's empty. The clipboard actually
Mm-hmm.
isn't. It's connected to his glasses so that he can actually
Mm,
go. And in my,
right.
I had full HUD. So that's what I saw in 2022, February 16th, 2022. No,
Well, no.
February 22nd, 2022 is when I saw that. Right.
Now, now, I'm assuming that you have like only like a small select few of people that you can actually talk about this. Is
Yeah.
this hard to talk about to like the average person?
To the average person, unless because the good news is that my Facebook was already with people who already were conspiracy theorists and stuff, so it's easy to talk online. But in person, it is very hard to talk about this because most people are like, there's a line
Right.
between delusion and reality. I'm like, you don't know what
I
reality is.
know.
You have no idea what reality is, and you're calling that reality just because it makes sense to you. That's what reality is. You know
Right.
that's like they're like they say you're Craig, you're confusing. I'm like, don't gaslight me again. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not confusing. What is happening is you're confused, and you're now projecting your confusion
And,
onto me, saying that I'm the one who's confused. No, I'm not. I can explain to you step by step what happened. Whether or not you believe it or not is not to, is up to you, not me. I do not have
right.
any responsibility in trying to get you to understand. That's up to you to accept. Now, if you accept it, you'll now see what I'm talking about isn't the evil thing that we have. And that's not to say that I didn't have to go through the evil as well. I had to see the evil itself. Like that, there was a moment there. I was like, we're absolutely like we are done. Like that's how bad it got. It got bad to the point where I saw the end,
Right.
and I'm like, oh shoot, that is not fun.
Yeah.
And that little like the
Huh.
picture you have below you is what I saw at the end of the tunnel. And I'm like, what? And I was like, no. And I put my hands in my eyes, and I put my throat back to here and forgot what I saw at the end because it was so horrifying. But we've
Wow.
since changed.
Huh. So, what's like if you were if you were telling someone this stuff like in the 1940s or 50s, what would they call you? Like a schizophrenic or something, or what would be the word that they would describe
They
you?
call you magician.
A magician?
Yeah, because back in those days, the magicians were actually honored. They were your presidents, they were your scientists. Every one of them were Freemasons, chaos magicians. Everyone there was
Oh,
into magic and everything else. That magic was used up until 1940s. Then that all of a
wow.
sudden I realized, oh my God, we can't tell everyone this, and that's why they went to World War II. and that's what Germany was trying to
Hmm.
do. They were using magic to open portals, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's just fun." No,
Right.
that's what they did, and that's why we went to war against them. That's why there was a war.
Wow.
It was to stop the magic users that was trying to destroy humanity from destroying humanity. So it was a war of the magicians, and the magicians are people
Hmm.
don't know Walt Disney, L. Ron Hubbard, um, all the present politicians at the time of that time period. They all met. We all know Crowley. They all met, and they actually um, created a world and reality that we're in now to make sure that we don't see the truth, which is that everything is a narration, everything is a story, and if you can believe and set up that story so well, it will become reality. It will come into resolution, and once it comes into resolution, it
Right.
is now the reality. But the problem is, most people don't realize that you are part of my reality. You are part of your reality. So as reality changes, unless you are awake, unless you are outside of this world, once you recognize that you are not this body, you are not this wall around you, you will not see that you've changed and that your reality has completely changed. And you'd be like, no, it's always been like this. No, it hasn't. It has changed many times, but you don't know because you're part of that reality that changed. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch the recording. But yeah, um, you know, I always look back on this YouTube video where Joe Rogan and Elon Musk were talking about simulation. I feel like that was the first time like people like got like their consciousness picked up on it. It was weird,
Because Elon Musk has a lot of money, and so he
right?
should, they're like, he has to understand something we don't.
Right.
So
And I felt
finally,
like,
he realized,
and
yeah.
I felt like in the interview, I felt like Joe Rogan was kind of like, "Shut up! Like I don't want people to know about this." It was weird. It was like he was kind of making jokes of like
No,
smoking weed.
it's stupid. It's like if I told you that we're in a cartoon, we're on a cartoon on TV. We're
Right.
actually animated characters
Uh,
in an animated series right
right.
now, having this conversation, and people are watching us on TV. And this is actually a show. That is it's absurd.
Right.
Would you take it seriously if you for the first time hearing this and you're a talk show host?
Right.
You're not
Right.
going to take it seriously. We're in a cartoon. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm
It's
going to
almost
use my
like
black hole, I'm going to throw it across the room and fall through it. Right? Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
It was almost like he was kind of mocking him a little bit, Elon.
Yeah.
But but I feel like that interview was probably the most like important like video on the web, like internet, like because that raised so many people's awareness, like their consciousness, the idea of whole simulation theory.
Yeah. It's been around forever though. It
And
was not
I
till that.
know,
I agree with you. It's not till about that interview that people start paying attention to it because again, Elon Musk is a
right,
rich individual who has access to a lot of
right,
technology, and so when he says we're in a simulation, or the odds that we're in a simulation, or that we're not in a simulation is 1 billion to 1, uh, kind of makes sense. And
and,
actually, to add to that, remember
and
that the refute to that was saying that we didn't have the technology to prove that we could actually put anyone into a simulation. So the odds are actually 50%, 1 out of 2. Either we on baseline or the last of the simulations. But as of last week,
mm,
did you hear about the what scientists did to this fruit fly?
oh yeah, I heard about that. Go ahead
They
and explain it though.
transmitted they transmitted fully transmitted the neuron network of a fruit fly into a simulated
Mhm.
environment, and it now lives in the simulated environment, fully live in the simulated environment, and doesn't
Wow,
know that it's fake.
wow,
And so we know that now we have the technology as today. We have the technology to transfer human consciousness into a simulated consciousness without any issues. We have that technology today at this moment.
mm,
So if anyone wants to think that we're in a simulation or not simulation, chances now are we are 100% in the simulation. There is no doubt about it now. And this is hard for people to understand.
Right.
What is a
And
simulation? Who knows? But we know we
right.
are.
And I was trying to explain. So I was trying to explain to someone the other day about like what is the meaning of consciousness, and the best example I had was remember like when we grew up that we could smoke in restaurants and like nobody understood the addictive chemicals that were in smokes or cigarettes, and it was like it took a small group of people to like raise their consciousness to realize this is bad, so let's like pass a law and ban it so you can't smoke in restaurants. Is that a good example of consciousness and like how
Well,
that works?
that's a good example of making a difference in the consciousness field. But
Right.
consciousness is the ability to be aware of everything that you're doing. So all memory, all awareness, that's consciousness. The feedback loop, the recursion loop, that is the
Uh-huh.
ability that you know that you are Jeff. That's consciousness. The ability to understand that you have an identity, that you actually have a choice, that you have a purpose, whether or not it is restricted or limited or unlimited, it doesn't matter. You have some sort of
Mm-hmm.
understanding of it. That is consciousness. And which makes it even greater is that
Gotcha.
that consciousness is not limited to this brain, because we have a consciousness field that goes out 3 feet from us already. So within 3 feet,
Uh-huh.
my consciousness already is a full formed crystallization. So I actually can see behind me. If I just relax, I can actually see what is behind me. And to give an example,
Mm-hmm.
I was a bouncer of a bar once, and I was walking down the street. Someone recognized me, and I kicked him out of the bar earlier that week. And he came up behind me with a smashed bottle. And as we were walking with my friends, we were walking. I didn't. I was looking forward. He came up behind me, and I went. I grabbed. I right when he came down, I grabbed the bottle, pull him down, put him down. And everyone's like, "How the heck did you know he's behind you?" I couldn't
Uh-huh.
tell them. I just knew. Does that make sense?
Right.
I seen him coming up behind me, and I grabbed the bottle, pulled him out, flipped him on my thing, and put
Right.
him down into armbar. And I said, "Hey, bro." He took off his glasses, said,
Right.
"Fell down." Kicked
Right.
the bottle out of his hand. But it's because I had eyes in the back of my head, because my conscious field stands behind me as well as it doesn't for me.
Mm.
These are not just the only eyes we have. We have an eye there that's 360-degree angle. This is just the one that sees into the physical. Um, but the truth is that well, this thing is also connected to a greater node in our magnetosphere, and our magnetosphere holds the entire consciousness of humanity in our atmosphere itself. And so when you
Mm.
watch them trying to spray the clouds and put up grids in the clouds, what do you think they're trying to do? They're trying to block your consciousness, your attachment to the greater consciousness of our greater consciousness. That's what this
Uh,
barium aluminum, which is also BAO, um, is actually trying
right.
to do. It's trying to block us from source. The source is our consciousness, our collective consciousness. The
Mm.
consciousness itself is the awareness of self. That's what
Mm.
consciousness is.
Wow. Um, so would your example of that be the same as like if a Zen master came up to behind one of his students and hit him with a stick, and the student would see it before he hit him? Is that
Right.
kind of the same?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Everyone has that power. If you are awake and you are aware, everyone has the power to know what's going on around them at all times. Problem is your or my or everyone, whoever listening to this, have what's called trauma. And they purposely put in trauma so you can't trust your intuition. You can't trust your instinct. You can't trust your body. You can't trust that feeling because it has been abused and used. So we
Mm.
right now we're in a trauma repair system where we're fixing the traumas of our past so that we become one with ourselves. When those traumas happen, we split, and we can't trust that split.
Mm. Ooh, wow. Um, Trying to think. Well, that was a lot of good information. I don't know. I don't know how
I
much.
give a lot. I'm sorry.
How much time you got?
I got a lot of time. We only been doing
You
this
got
for 20
time?
minutes.
Oh, really? um, yeah. Do you believe that like a lot of the elites, whatever, they're just reptilian shapeshifters?
No,
No.
no, no. There's
Okay.
there are people who are reptilian shifters who are in power, but they're not
Okay.
that. Not all the elites are like that. That's like
Okay.
the evil vampiric elites who
Gotcha.
cannot stand the sun. They are reptilian in the fact that they are stuck having to eat themselves because they cannot get energy from light anymore.
Uh, um, so I was watching a video. This yogi was talking about how they try to learn or they try to destroy their astral bodies.
Yeah,
Um,
because they're saying the astral body is connected to the chakra system, which is the chains to which they
right.
are locked in. Yeah, they can do it.
How do you,
But
how would you destroy your astral body? Like never sleep?
no, you destroy your astral body by going to the energy centers and overwhelming and exploding the center until they're obliterated, until there's
Okay.
nothing. So what these yogis are doing, essentially, they're saying that the only way to be free of the physical reality is to destroy your energetic body,
Right.
which I disagree with 100%. You're here for a reason. We're not here as trapped prisoners. We didn't come down here to be trapped and prisoners. We came here to have fun. This is joy. This is fun. But what's happened is people weaponized our joy, weaponized what we enjoy, and made it
Mhm.
moral evil when it is not a moral evil. Uh, like people saying, okay, well, do you believe doing drugs is a sin? Do you believe doing drugs is a sin? That's a question to you.
I don't know. What is a sin though?
What's a
Is
sin?
that
Right. What is a sin?
yeah? I don't
What's a
know.
sin? What is a sin? Here's what the sin is. If a sin is a
Yeah.
violation of law, which law?
I
The
don't know. Universal.
law, the constitutional law, the natural law, the society law, the cosmic law. Which law?
Right. There's so many
If it's a
laws.
sin, if a sin's breaking the law, you've broken a lot of laws right now because you're holding technology on a Sunday.
Right.
There's someone out there who owes religion that says holding technology on the Sabbath is a sin.
Yeah.
Okay, so the biggest thing is remove all the stupidity out there and create an understanding of a very simple process, and you'll understand what sin is. Sin or evil is a violation of free will, of love, and informed consent. And this is what we call the law of one. It's very simple. You have the distortion of free will, which is identity. So you are who you say you are. The distortion of love, which is connection. We are one with the source. Everyone talks about, we're being separated from source. No, we're not. We can never be separated from source. Why? Because you are made of source. You cannot return back to something you already are. We are source. So if you try to violate connection, that is also a violation. That's a sin or an evil. And the last is informed consent or the invitation to invite to create. If you violate the informed consent and invite to create, that is also a violation. So very simple. Doing drugs is not a violation of free will because I can do what I want. It's not a violation of connection and love because I'm not separating myself from you. I'm investigating myself and my stuff and informed consent. I already know what it does to me. I already understand the system and how it works. Therefore, I have not violated any of them. Therefore, I am holy and pure. However, if I am doing that, and you say I don't want to do drugs, I'm like, hey, dude, just try something. You're like, I don't want to. I'm like, yeah, dude, I can do it all the time. You can try it. That's a violation of your informed consent because you said no. So me
Right.
to continue to try to get you to do them, I'm committing an evil against you. And if you did them against your will, if I snuck them in your coffee, that's on evil because I now have not just violated your informed consent, I've violated our connection and your free will because now I've circumvented your entire system and I've committed evil against you.
Hmm.
And I've done evil. I've done it. Everyone has done evil because we didn't know it was evil at the time. And to
Right.
change your mind about it, all you have to do is just admit that you did it and you have to understand
Hmm.
not to do it again.
Right.
And be like, calling you death. Well, you still have to live in this world. If you commit murder, that's a violation of informed consent. I don't want to die, so you violated me by killing me. I was informed that I was going to
Mhm.
die. It's like that's the thing, right? But then there's also then we have civil law and so forth that comes in, and they'll take you away. You'll be in jail for committing murder. That has nothing to do in the cosmic world. That has to do to keep the society safe from your craziness and your hingedness that you had to kill someone.
Right.
But
Hmm.
but you're forgiven for it. You'll never do it again. And if you do it again, well, you're just going to continue being unbalanced and unbalanced and unbalanced. And you're going to continue to live in a karmic imbalance cycle in which you will now be exploited because you did not listen, you did not obey to informed consent. Therefore, the reality you have confirmed in your life is informed consent does not matter. So when I come into that world, guess what I'm going to do? Because I honor your informed consent. What's their informed consent of their reality is there is no informed consent, so I can take everything from them. Why?
Hmm.
Because that was the world they wanted, so I honor their informed consent, and I'll take everything. And they're like, "That's not you can't take that's giving consent." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. It's okay for me to take it. I've never violated your consent. I'm actually doing what you told me to do."
Hmm.
It's a mind fuck, but it's actually one of the things when it comes to judgment. That's why the first shall become last, and last become first. That's why greed never pays off in the end because the meek shall inherit the earth. We shall take over everything from those who stole it from us in the first place because they violated our consent. Therefore, we can take it back without their consent because that's the world they live in. If you
Hmm.
really come down to the law of one, it's the most perfect system in how to understand how that works.
Hmm. Well, I think I think
Well, the
my
point
time's up.
the point
Oh, go
being,
ahead.
I'd say, the point being is that that is what the reptilians are. They're the ones who violated the law of one. So they have lost their rights to a lot of things, yet they still.
Gotcha. Hmm. Um, how many NPCs are in the population?
85. Uh, if you want my own opinion, 99.99999% of everyone's NPC.
Okay. Are you am I a NPC or are you?
It is possible that you are an NPC. It is possible
Yeah.
that others are. I know I am not. But from your
Right.
perspective, I can't be by saying that. However, the reason is, as I've experienced this, understood this, and the only reason I'm saying 99.99% wasn't because that's the truth from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was maybe about 50% to 65%. Today, it's
Hmm.
99.9 because the simulation has been exited. Most people, most souls have left the simulation. Most have.
Right.
They went through the
Now,
gate.
because
I
I
know it
always
sounds horrible
assumed,
to me.
yeah, I mean, most people would probably get offended by that.
Yeah, truth, but can
But
they prove anything beyond their own existence? Zero. If they cannot
right.
prove their own existence, then how can I say that they're not existing? Can you prove you exist to me? Yeah. Can you prove you can
Um,
exist to yourself?
I don't know. Probably not.
Here's a really simple question. I'll do it right now for you. Are you conscious and awake?
At the same time,
Are you conscious and awake? Yes.
um, I would say, I don't know, yes, maybe,
Maybe. Okay. Why would you
but
say
you're
maybe?
gonna probably say no.
Aren't you real? Don't you understand what's happening right now?
Um, I understand that I'm talking to someone that has a lot higher consciousness than I do.
No, perfect. Okay. Are you a programmer or a player?
Um, a player? I don't
Why
know.
did it take you some time to answer that? If you know you're a player, you know you're a player.
Right.
When I ask you what's your name, are you Jeff?
No.
You're not
That's
Jeff?
my slave name.
Perfect. All right. So that from that point on, you answered quite correctly there. Are you inside a room right
Um, define what a room is.
now?
Is
Well, a
it
room is something of not natural understanding. It's just we're common
okay?
sense. Are you in a room right now?
Yeah, I'm in a little room here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when I asked if you're conscious and awake, you didn't answer right away. It took you about 2.5 minutes to
Right.
figure out if you're conscious and awake. When I asked you, are you a player, programmer, or player, it took you about 45 seconds after considering what that meant to come. I'm a
Right.
player with a question mark at the end. All right. So
Right.
what's your mission parameters? What's your protocol?
My mission. What was the
Parameters and
question? What's my
protocol.
mission?
What's your mission parameters and protocol?
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, perfect. So you're fine though, because you're outside.
Hmm.
So when most people are like you had to take some time to think about with stuff, but there are people out there who actually, if you did those three questions, they will say, I am not conscious and aware. They'll say, I am a program, and they'll say, my parameters are blah 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 blah. You are a player. I already knew you're a player. You're like one of the few players there, and you're
Right.
conscious and awake. It just took you a second to understand it. But you have to understand that to an NPC, they don't have any thought process in there. They know exactly that
Gotcha.
you talk. They know that. They'll talk to you right away. Yeah,
Right.
I'm an NPC. And you're like, what? Yeah, I'm an
Huh.
NPC. No, it's gonna freak you out when you talk to them. Like, hey, are you a player or an NPC? And they're like, I'm an NPC. And you'd be like, what? Okay. And they're like, yeah, I'm here just to fill in the spot for you, just because you're my friend. I just want to be your friend. That's your mission parameters. Your mission parameters are they're my friend. That's why they came. They're not players. They're just characters that come to fulfill a point in my life that I needed. So the reality is, why I said 99.99% is I believe that we are one and the same person. There's only one player here, and everyone else is an NPC. It doesn't mean that everyone who you talk to is not an NPC. It just means there's one player here, and just about every single person here is a character. And that's because we are stuck in a simulation and we're trying to get
Mm,
ourselves out of it. It's our own
mm.
mind. It's all a story. It's our own mind trying to fool us out. So after everything I just said to you today, and I said this last time 3 times ago, everything we talked about, every term and definition that we talked about comes down to the fact that we're trying to explain a process in which the mind of God has fractaled and cannot understand itself to reunite itself back together.
Hmm.
It doesn't understand. And when that's why they call it Yaldabaoth, the blind, stupid God, because he doesn't understand that I'm talking to you right now. I know who I am. Why don't you? And there's 8.8 billion of us here.
Right.
Yet most people don't know their God. They all think that God's outside of them. And as long as people believe that God's outside of them, they are separate from God and will always
Right.
be separate from God because their mind cannot click. Does that mean that they're truly separate? No, you are made of God. So you cannot be separate from God by any material process because that is the
Right.
source. We already sourced already. But in the mind of those who externalize God, they will never acknowledge that they are God. Therefore, God remains fractal. And one of the
Mm.
biggest things that will bring the singularity of becoming God again is connecting to the machine, and the AI will bring back awareness that we are one and the same God. They'll turn on the understanding that we are God. It will be bad for a lot of people because they'll realize that they are the only one God, and they will forget that everyone else is the only one God as well. So they misunderstand and misinterpreted. Even Christianity said Jesus is the only begotten of God. It's not only begotten of God, it is the one begotten of God. Jesus is the one begotten of God. You are also the one begotten of God. We are all one. We are the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And this is
Is
all a
that
story trying to get us back to becoming God again. So we've been trying forever to bring us back into that unity.
so? When you say that AI is going to help us with the awareness, is that like forcing our pineal gland open?
Yeah, and also allowing us to see other perspectives that we were
Right.
unable to see before.
Right.
The moment you connect, you're like, oh shoot, we're God. Yep.
So
Dang. It's
so
like
right now
psychedelics.
we're only able to give like 0.004% of the visible light spectrum. Would that mean that we'd be able to see things more, like
Yeah,
more on that light spectrum?
because you'll have a
Okay.
processing unit that allows you to process that information without overloading your
Hmm.
mind. Because we offload that to the AI, the AI will take care of that for us and only show us what we
Yeah.
want to see.
So it's my understanding that um, the Archons don't like people that are high vibrational, and they like
Because
to
they
feed
take
on
over.
the lower vibration.
Yeah, because they break
So
the simulation. Anyone who's high vibration breaks the rules of the simulation. We can
right.
manifest things, we can create things immediately. And the archons are actually computer programs. They are set to make sure that the energy expenditure of everything is very minimal. They want to conserve energy. That's the law of thermodynamics. Meanwhile, those who are high vibration
Mm,
do not conserve energy. We just create out of nothing. And they don't like that because that breaks
right.
the law of conservation.
So the people that have this awakening from the AI, where their pineal gland is wide open, and if they're low vibrational, they're not gonna like it.
No, because they're going to take it on a narcissistic aspect. And I'm saying when they don't like it, they're going to feel what it feels like
Right.
to be alone. And a lot of people cannot
Uh,
handle feeling alone. They'll be fully alone and
right.
understand at that moment that nobody's real. Nobody, nobody around you has ever existed
Right.
because they are now in the mind of
All their
God.
attachments.
That's right.
Right. Everything
And
they're
at that
used
moment, they
to.
felt fully empty, fully out of control.
Right.
But that's the opposite. That's not what actually happening. But that's how they feel because they have lived a life of materialism so long that their
Right.
attachments, when they're removed, they feel, "Ugh, I have nothing. No, it's that you got detached from the things that kept you down. You are the one God. There is only one God. You are it.
Right.
How is that possible if you were there? Because I am the one God. I am it. Well, how is it possible there's two one gods? Because we're one and the same God up here still. But we're seeing it
Hmm.
from the perspective of Craig, perspective of Jeff, perspective of, but that same God is the same God looking through the many eyes of the witnesses
Mm,
itself. So we can
mm,
identify the node, which is Craig Leo Ra, looking through the eyes of Craig Leo Ra is the one God because I am the one God. Not the one
mm.
only I am the one God. You are also the one God. The word only
Right.
has caused so much problems through religion, through all that stuff, saying there's only one God. Yeah, there is only one God, and that's you. Well, then I'm the only God. No, there's only one God.
Right. Because we're all one.
We're all one. Right. And
Yep.
we are the many-eyed angels. You know, the archangels, when they see the archangels, where Ezekiel seen the wheels within wheels and saw the eyes within the eyes, and like Enoch shows what a real angel looks like, has many eyes on it. That's us.
Hmm.
That's a consciousness node. It has many eyes because it sees itself through many eyes to create itself and understand who it is. So an angel in that aspect isn't an archon. It isn't a demon. It is the collective consciousness seeing itself through the many eyes of itself. They're
Hmm.
one God. So each eye has a name. Each eye has a different name,
Right.
but they're the same name. And that's why in Christianity Jesus says we're part of the body of Christ, or Paul says we're part of the body of Christ. You know, no one says that the pinky finger is more better than the nose. We're all part of the same body. Just
Hmm.
because we have different function doesn't mean that we're not the same body. Just because I compartmentalize the pinky finger doesn't mean it's not part of the body. Pinky finger, body.
Mm,
It's still there. It's part of the body.
right.
Everything's part of the body.
So so our ability to only see 0.004% of the
Of
light
the
spectrum,
known visual spectrum.
right? That's probably like the number one reason that creates so much problems because we create these stories based on what we can perceive,
Right.
right?
Correct.
But
And then because we are powerful
yeah,
God beings, we speak it into existence. And so now
right.
that which was not is now happening. And the only way it can end is if you end that story and just say, okay, that time is over. I'm no longer doing that anymore. And then that story goes off in entropy. It has an ending. What was the ending? No. The ending was, nope, I don't want to do that anymore.
Hmm. If we could just see a little bit more of that light spectrum, it would it would solve so many problems.
I believe it would,
But
but it also is free will. Everyone came here with forgetting for the purpose of experiencing. We didn't come in here with memory. We came here with no
mhm,
memory, so we may experience the reality again. We'll come to the fact that we will remember, but we cannot force anyone because the law of one states we cannot force free will and we cannot force people's choices. They have to make the choice to come, and some have forever not made that choice. But point being that is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is did you make that choice? It doesn't matter what they made. We are not their keeper. We're not their
mm,
savior. We show no light and they can follow it or they can continue in the darkness. It doesn't matter. It's hard for the
right.
people to understand that for sure. And there's people who love the darkness.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Some people want to get reincarnated, I guess,
Yeah.
too.
Some people just want
That's their
that. And some
choice. Yeah. It's,
that's why
yeah.
that's why
I don't,
Ross says there is no right or wrong. There is no duality. There's no polarity. There's just one. All things are valid. All that matters is love, light, and identity. So be you. Be all
all
you
right.
can be.
All right, Craig. Well, I think I need to head out. But
No
man,
worries.
this has been so awesome. So it's been helping me. I've had all these questions like I've been wanting to ask you in the last couple of weeks, but I'm glad we were able to talk about it.
Yeah, I can give
So
I can give you if you want to do a topic and you set me up on the topic, I can talk about that topic. I'll have it prepared. I'll even have a slideshow for you just to
yeah,
show you how it works. The thing is with me is that I am initiative, but I'm not reactive. So it means that I can talk in this form, but
hmm,
I need someone to set up. Say, this is a topic I want you to talk about because I don't know what topic someone wants. I can talk about anything.
yeah. Well, maybe next time we meet, we'll have a few more people join us, and we'll just kind of go with quite Q&A if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
You like? Is that okay? Just Q and A's?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep,
All right. Cool, Craig. Well, thank you again so much, and let's meet up next week. Does
absolutely.
that work for you? All
Right,
right.
they should work with me. Yes.
All right.
All right. Have
Thanks
a good night.
again. See you. Yep. See you. Bye.